So there's been a lot of chatter in the news recently about the H-1B category, specifically that there's abuses in the system, that individuals are getting paid cheap labor in the United States. Is this true? Well, the H-1B category, which we call the specialty occupation category, and which is geared towards individuals who possess at minimum a bachelor's degree in a specific field and then have a job offer with an employer in the U.S. that in fact requires that education. This particular category requires us to be able to demonstrate to the government as part of that filing that they will be paid a fair and prevailing wage, meaning that this individual, this H-1B applicant, will be paid at or above what similarly situated American workers are earning. So how does this make sense that everybody's saying that this is cheap labor? Well, I think where things start to get off the rails lies in the issue of what we call wage levels. When the Department of Labor, twice per year, conducts nationwide surveys of all fields, all occupational categories, employers of all sizes across the nation, what it ascertains is what are individuals at all levels of the spectrum in an occupational category earning. What does the entry-level worker earn? What does somebody with a little bit more experience earn? What does somebody who has specific skills or supervisory authority earn vis-a-vis somebody who's a new market entrant? The government breaks this into 4 wage levels, with level 1 wages being individuals who are paid as new market entrants. These are the entry level positions. These are the kids that just graduate from college. They don't require a ton of experience, but they do require a bachelor's degree, and that's okay. That still constitutes an H-1B. That's a level 1 wage. But what about when you have an esteemed, seasoned worker whose position requires more than 5 years of experience or has supervisory duties? That those individuals really should be getting paid a level 4 wage, the highest wage in that particular occupational category. And what happens, where a lot of these abuses might stem from in the United States, is that when an employer submits an H-1B, it will code the H-1B position for being at a lower wage level than what it actually is required to be at. In fact, the Department of Labor provides very specific guidelines for how employers can determine what the appropriate wage level is based on the requirements for the position. And it's up to a responsibility of the employer, and mostly through their immigration lawyers, to ascertain the correct level wage and to ensure that they're actually getting paid that way. So when we think about all these abuses happening, studies from the Economic Policy Institute have actually come out and said that employers, a vast number of employers, are actually only paying level 1 or 2 wages to their people. What also could be happening is that employers go on record saying they are going to be paying maybe the appropriate wage level wage to their employee, and then ultimately do not. So what we're having here sounds like more of an enforcement issue rather than an actual issue with the category. The government has put out specific rules and guidelines to prevent this from happening. Nevertheless, enforcement is still difficult. The government is trying to address this right now by increasing things like site visits to each U.S. employer who is putting out an H-1B petition filing. So they can visit that site and make sure, is that person fully compliant? Is that person getting paid the fair wage? Is that person in fact employed at that particular work site where they should be earning a particular wage? So the issue is more complex than one would actually think. But bottom line, it is the fact that reform is needed in our category, this particular H-1B category. We should be giving foreign nationals the ability to live and work in the United States, but it obviously is not a sustainable program if widespread abuses are occurring. It'll be interesting to see what the Trump administration does plan to do. As you know, there's been a lot of talk flying around, particularly on X and other social media, about the merits of this category. We will have to stay tuned to see if there are other acts of reforms that will be coming down the pipeline to protect these workers and to enforce this category a bit more. Stay tuned.